Hi friends, welcome to English Study Point. Today in this video lecture, I am going to discuss poetry by Edgar Allan Poe titled as Ulalume, a ballad. This poetry was published in the year 1847. Here I am reading stanza and along with that, I am explaining you meaning of each particular stanza. The skies, they were ashen and sober. The leaves, they were crisped and sere. The leaves they were withering and sere. In this stanza, first of all, speaker sets the air atmosphere by describing the gloomy surroundings, the pale and somber sky, along with the withered and decaying leaves, sets a mood of sadness and decay which is surrounded there in the poetry. It was night in the lonesome October of my most immemorial year. So it is revealed that it is a lonesome night in October, which highlights the darkness and foreboding. It was hard by the dim lake of Ober in the misty mid region of Weir. What speaker is doing here is the mention of over and where contributes to the mysterious tone as they are associated with air settings in Poe's work. It was down by the dank tarn of Ober in the ghoul haunted woodland of where the location is described as misty and haunting near a dim lake and dank tarn, emphasizing the supernatural and unsettling nature of the setting in this poetry. Here I am heading to next stanza. Here once through an alley titanic of Cyprus I roamed with my soul. The speaker here recollects a past experience walking with their soul through a grand Cyprus alley. Of Cyprus with Psyche my soul. The speaker here trying to depict presence of psyche which symbolizes the soul, and here this soul suggests a deep connection to their inner self. These were days when my heart was volcanic as the scoriac rivers that roll, as the lavas that restlessly roll their sulphurous currents down Yannick in the ultimate climbs of the pole that groan as they roll down Mount Yannick. So these lines tells us about that the speaker here describes their hurt in those days as volcanic, fiery and passionate, which is akin to the rivers of lava flowing down Mount Yannick in the realms of the boreal pole. The imagery of volcanic activity creates a sense of intensity and turmoil within the speaker. Our talk had been serious and sober, but our thoughts they were palsied and sere. Our memories were trackerous and sere. The speaker here reflects on their previous conversation with their soul. Although their discussion had been serious and somber, their thoughts are described as weak and withered, lacking clarity or strength. For we knew not the month was October, and we marked not the night of the year, a night of all nights in the year. The speaker here admits that they were unaware that it was October, failing to recognize the significance of the time and the specific night. Though once we had journeys down here, and we remember not the dank tarn of Ober, nor the ghoul haunted woodland on of Weir. Here he confessed to forget the features of the dim lake and the dank tarn of Ober, as well as the ghoul haunted woodland of Weir. This stanza further illustrates the theme of confusion and disconnection from reality. And now, as the night was sentient and star dials pointed to morn, as the star dials hinted of morn, in this stanza, the speaker talks that the night was approaching its end and the star dials or clocks indicated the hour of dawn. At the end of our path, a liquescent and nebulous luster was born, out of which a miraculous crescent. The speaker describes how a shimmering and cloudy light emerged at the end of their path, which ultimately forms a miraculous crescent shape with two horns, arose with a duplicate horn, Astarte's Bediamonted crescent, distinct with its duplicate horn. This crescent is compared to Astarte's who is considered to be as an ancient goddess often associated with love and fertility. The vivid imagery suggests the emergence of something magical or otherworldly about to happen. And I said she is warmer than Diane. The speaker compares the mysterious crescent to the moon goddess Diana, which suggests that it possesses a warmer and more passionate energy. She rolls through an ether of sighs, she revels in a rain of sighs. The crescent is described as rolling through an eternal realm filled with sighs and reveling amidst a melancholic atmosphere. These cheeks where the warmth never dies and has come past the stars of the lion. The speaker observes that their own cheeks possess an everlasting youthfulness where the warmth of death never decays them. To point us the path to the skies, to the Lethean peace of the skies. The crescent is depicted as having journeyed past the stars of the constellation Leo, offering guidance towards the celestial realm or heaven. Come up in despite of the lion to shine on with us. Her bright eyes come up through the layer of the lion with love in her luminous eyes. The speaker beckons the crescent to rise above the dominance of the lion, which symbolizes a triumph over darkness and fear. The union of the crescent's bright and loving gaze with the speaker's perspective signifies a desire for enlightenment and love. But Psyche, uplifting her finger, said sadly, "This star I mistrust." Here, the speaker's soul, Psyche, raises her finger and voices a sense of doubt or unease about the shining star. Her pallor I strangely mistrust. She mistrusts its pallor and expresses urgency for the speaker to hasten and not linger in its presence. Oh, hasten, oh, let us not linger. Oh, fly, let us fly, for we must. What speaker here is doing, she insists that they must fly away, indicating a need to escape a perceived danger or impending doom. This conclusion leaves the poem with an unresolved sense of unease and uncertainty. Then with this video lecture ends here. Hope this video lecture will help you in your UGC NET English Literature exams. Thank you.